In this part of the video series, we're going to talk about a super important concept, and that is routing. How do we route a packet from one network, one subnet, to another subnet? We're going to begin our discussion by taking a look at IP version 4, and we'll begin that discussion by reviewing how binary works, because we're going to do a lot of binary mathematical operations in these series of modules in this part of the video series. And IP version 4, we're going to see that it's a 32-bit address, and we're going to see how to take those 32 bits and say some of those bits are going to be used to represent the network, and some of those bits are going to be used to represent the host on the network, and we can play with that a little bit. We can do different types of subnetting, and we'll give you plenty of practice exercises with that. Then our discussion is going to shift to IP version 6, a new version of IP, and it has a lot of great features. It is massively more scalable than IP version 4, so we'll give you a nice primer on IP version 6, and then we'll turn our attention to the router itself. How do we do some basic configuration on the router? How do we connect to the router? How do we set up some basic things like a host name on a router? Then we're going to see how to configure routing on the router. How do we actually train that router to look at a packet and decide how to forward that packet based on a destination IP address? We're then going to wrap up this part of the video series by taking a look at troubleshooting routing issues. We'll go into the router and we'll get information about the interface status, and we'll take a look at how packets are being propagated through the network. Can we get to the next router? Great. Can we get to the router after that and after that? We can trace a route throughout the network and see where things break down. We can check connectivity with a specific device out there on the network. And the interfaces themselves, they have a wealth of information. They have all kinds of error counters that we can look at and interpret to give us some indication as to what's going on. Let's get started.